welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Nick, and welcome back to the Dr. Nick Show. So, today I wanted to talk about just some things I've been thinking about for the last handful of days, and that is I always talk about, wrestling figures, movies, pop culture, all kinds of things. And I wanted to talk about today some of the things that I miss from, growing up in the time that I did. I was born in 85, so I was a child of, the late 80s, early 90s. And I witnessed so many different things change. Technology, businesses, that I grew up around, just gone. Blockbuster gone, Toys R Us gone, Family Video gone. Places that we used to go eat, like Ponderosa. There's, I believe, a couple locations left. There's one in Vincennes, Indiana, I believe, somewhat near me. But, we lost the local Target, Shoney's. Our Red Lobster closed a handful of years ago. And, a lot of other places that are now, gone. I used to go shopping at Circuit City, gone. I used to go KB Toys, another place, gone. And I know that, businesses don't last forever, especially when, with the rise of the internet and places like Amazon selling things, a lot of places could not compete. But I wanted to talk about some of the places that I miss eating at. I absolutely loved going to Ponderosa with my family and my grandparents. Very good place. A lot of good desserts, good food, just a really cool, comfort meal, family environment. Shoney's was a really good restaurant, really good breakfast. I believe there's a handful of Shoney's left. None that I know near me anyway. I used to go, with my grandma to Kmart a lot, and we would get, either snacks or sandwiches in the Kmart cafe. Little Caesars was in there as well. Kmart was pretty cool. Towards the end, it was just really getting really bad. The stores were run down. They weren't stocking a lot of things, but it was super cool to go to. A lot of cool toys. It was definitely cheaper than KB. KB was an expensive place. Toys R Us is, as much as I liked going there, when I was real young, it was the location that turned into a Toys R Us was known as Children's Palace. And one of the toys I remember getting from there was the Pee-wee's Playhouse play set that they had. I don't really remember getting other things. I'm sure I got other things from there too, but I don't remember what they are. It's just been so long. But that's the one that really stuck out to me. I go to KB Toys, get wrestling figures. I remember getting some Police Academy action figures, some video games. I remember one time my parents and my brother and we went, and I remember seeing, back behind the counter, they had, some of the video games in a case. And I remember my brother picking up Fester's Quest, which, as you know, that video game is very difficult. It was a fun game, but I don't think we ever beat it, from my knowledge. McDonald's was a lot more fun growing up. Now they've kind of turned into just this gray, blah, corporate bank-looking place. They used to have the characters from McDonald Land. The interior was really cool. The food was a lot better, in my opinion. I don't know what they've done to it. It doesn't taste as good. Wendy's was the bomb. The old school, yellow fry containers and, the newspaper looking covered tables and the salad bar, the super bar. We'd go there with my grandma. The food was better back then too. Our local Wendy's that I used to go to as a kid is was closed up a couple months ago, and it had the original sunroom in it. It still looked pretty similar inside. They really hadn't done much, remodeling since. I think that probably had a lot to do with it. The store was just not performing well. The food was bad. Um, I used to say, I could go to any other Wendy's around me and they were great, but ours was just so bad. The service was bad. The food was just awful quality. I just stopped going. It didn't help that they had bad management and the employees just really didn't give a crap, which probably could have been another reason why. But um, I don't know. Just, going to restaurants back then was a big deal. It was an event. You go with your family, your friends, your grandparents, whoever, and it just seemed like restaurants were put in more of an effort. Going to Chili's now, I was so disappointed when they remodeled the Chili's restaurants and got, they did away with the Tex-Mex looking tables with the tile. They took down all the like tchotchke stuff on the walls. They kind of did that with TGI Fridays as well. And now it's all boring and gray and industrial with pipes and Edison bulbs and things. It's just not fun anymore. Everything is just turned so blah. And I don't know. When I go into a restaurant, I want it to be clean. I want it to have a cool atmosphere, and I want the food to be good. And now, so many of these places have turned into, the millennial uh, gray, the millennial exposed brick and the pipes and the weird Edison bulbs and the stools that are uncomfortable to sit on. They found out real quick the people were not going to deal with that once they started painting the walls white and taking all the decorations down at Cracker Barrel. That backfired real quick. There's just certain things you can't change that the public doesn't want it to change. Yeah, certain things, are better changed and updated and things. But when you go to a place and it's comfortable and it's nostalgic and it just feels good to be there, why change that? Why do that? They took away the Uncle Herschel on the sign, and they had such a huge backlash. Luckily, they, you know, decided that, like, hey, this isn't a good idea. Um, it was just a lot of fun. We had a lot to choose from growing up during that time. Red Lobster was always a good time. Long John Silver's is still pretty good. Just the whole atmosphere of during that time when I was a kid was just so much fun. The toys, the TV, the fashion, everything. Just fun. And yeah, it's cool to have streaming services and, a lot of cool technology. But I miss having just a handful of channels with good stuff on it, renting movies. I mean, I still collect a lot of physical media, CDs, DVDs, newer stuff, Blu-rays, 4K, things like that. I collect a lot of wrestling figures, especially the vintage stuff. But I don't know. I don't know whether it's just because I've kind of hit that age. I turned 41 back in March. But I look back and, like, yeah, it's cool that you have, look at the phone. The phone I'm filming this on is, an iPhone 16, and it's got really cool features and apps and things. Sometimes I miss not being able to be contacted. You had your home phone, and that was it. You had a computer in the living room or a separate room, and you had a little bit of access to certain things, but not a ton. AOL Instant Messenger, MySpace, and now, you carry technology in your pocket. Literally any social media, Twitter, X, whatever, Instagram, Facebook, it's everywhere. And I like it. It's fun, but it's also created a lot of problems. And, people may disagree with me on that. They say, oh, you've been able to connect people more. Not really. The majority of the people that I have friends on Facebook, I don't talk to them. I'll like some of their pictures or status or, whatever, but like, I don't talk to half of these people, or even more than half of these people. Losing Zoe back in January was definitely a huge hit. I've always, I liked the past. It's cool to me. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And if I can recreate that by listening to the music that I did, watching movies, hopefully I'll be able to go to that Ponderosa eventually. Just fun times. Hitting this age has just really made me miss a lot. A lot of people that are gone, a lot of places that are gone. The way I used to feel, just gone. It makes me very sad. But there's a lot of positive. More people have gone back to buying DVDs and watching movies and VHS and going back to that less technology time, slow down, just listening to music, drink a cup of coffee, go sit outside, put your headphones on, listen to some music. Just getting away from the internet for a while can help a lot. But thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button down below, leave a comment, and I will see you all later.